A planned pregnancy turned my husband into a nightmare. It seems like a terribly cruel joke. Years before meeting my spouse, I was in a toxic, abusive relationship that nearly destroyed me. I dedicated years to therapy, improving myself, and understanding why I accepted that kind of love. I stayed single for a long time, and when I eventually started dating, I made sure to be vigilant about any warning signs. Heck, I even proceeded cautiously when everything appeared perfect. Because of my ex, I was well aware of love bombing. I met my husband at a work event, and everything just seemed to align. I opened up about my past trauma and made it clear that if we were going to date, it would require us to go slowly and have patience. I won't claim he was perfect, but he was consistently kind, empathetic, and caring. We dated for around 5 years, were engaged for 1, and have been married for a little over 3 years now. We recently purchased our second home together. We both got promotions at work, so we sat down and discussed having children. He wanted a large family, and I only wanted 1 or 2 kids. We agreed on 2, and so we began trying. It didn't take long, and now here I am, 6 months pregnant, still working, with swollen ankles and a back that won't stop hurting. Aside from that, I was very happy and thought I had a supportive husband. 3 weeks ago, I discovered he was having an emotional affair, and to be honest, probably a physical one as well. When confronted with the evidence, he confessed to not feeling attracted to me while I'm pregnant. I'm devastated. I haven't gained unnecessary weight. I still take care of myself, even with the ever-present morning sickness. He's not remorseful about it. When I cried, he told me I was being overdramatic. He is staying with his family until he can find a place to rent, and he doesn't want a divorce. He's saying that after the pregnancy, we can go to therapy and fix things. I don't want to do that. I cannot physically look this guy in the eye anymore without feeling disgusted. I got a message from him saying he's my only choice, because no man wants to date a single mom. I'll be speaking to a lawyer and figuring out how to divorce him. I just wanted to vent into the void today. For now, I'm going to DoorDash some nuggets and a Frosty from Wendy's and be okay if I gain 5 pounds from it. Thanks for listening, or reading, I suppose. Update. I was told I can't change the locks because it's his home too, and he came over last night knowing there wasn't anything I could do to stop it. Thankfully, he only grabbed some personal items, threatened to take the dogs, he didn't, and let me know he emptied our joint account. Part of me rolled my eyes, thinking he wouldn't be silly enough to do that, while the other part reminded me to check as soon as he left. Sure enough, our account has maybe $5 in it. He did a transfer, which I'll be calling the bank about and speaking to an attorney about this afternoon. Thankfully, my dad taught me to never fully mix finances, so my savings wasn't affected. And while it's not much, it's enough to cover the expenses for the next few weeks. I don't have any family left, so I think he's trying to make a power move to make me feel like I'm alone and need him. But in reality, it's motivated me not to want or need such a terrible person in my life. Thank you to everyone who's reached out with comments, kind messages, and useful advice. Update. I wanted to share an update since so many people took the time to send messages, leave comments, and share their own stories, which especially helped me not feel so alone. As mentioned in an edited post, I wasn't allowed to change the locks on our house because both of our names are on it. I never feared for my safety. It was more of an annoyance. He arrived to collect some of his personal items, and I assumed that would be the extent of it. It seemed like he was trying to provoke me. He claimed he had transferred funds and emptied the account. I didn't believe it until I checked for myself. That was our shared money, so that's currently being addressed. He came by the day before yesterday, clearly intoxicated, pleading to talk and growing more aggressive when I ignored him and walked away. Things escalated, so I grabbed my bag intending to walk to a neighbor's house so I wouldn't be alone. He seized my arm to stop me, and when I pulled away, he slapped me, an almost backhanded open slap. The police were called. I didn't have any marks on my face, so it was my word against his. They escorted him off the property, and I'm only now assuming he's back with his parents. He did throw a tantrum about the dogs and has proof of ownership, so I'm guessing he'll be able to take them. Left to go for a drive to clear my mind after everything, and realized 3 of my 4 tires were flat. I know it was him, but have no evidence. Insurance won't cover it, so I'm heading to a tire shop on Friday morning. Just another drop in the bucket. Regarding the attorney, I've had my consultation, and I'm waiting for my check to come in so I can set up my actual appointment and get things moving. There isn't much family left, and a few close friends are kept in the loop, but I don't want to overwhelm them or treat them like unpaid therapists. I guess that's why I returned to Reddit. There's something therapeutic about typing it all out into the void. The pregnancy is okay. I've actually lost a bit of weight, and the doctor has advised me to avoid stressful situations and take things easy. I'll be calling to see if I can change the home locks now, and if not, I'll start looking for new places. Relevant comments. It's okay to lean on one of your friends. Otherwise, you might stay in a women's shelter for protection. Staying with friends isn't feasible because many are out of state, and the lawyer mentioned the risk of asset abandonment. Plus, my work and doctor are here. I have someone coming to install a few cameras, and thankfully the neighborhood is aware and keeping an eye out. This is all temporary, of course, and the aim is to leave. There are just numerous reasons why that can't happen immediately. A different commenter. Unfortunately, all my friends are out of state and too far from my job and doctor, and I was advised to remain on the property so he couldn't claim I abandoned the assets. OP's best friend. Thank you. While I'm trying to stay safe and do what I can, my friends are on the other side of the US. We're doing FaceTime and phone calls right now. My best friend has has explicitly said if she calls and I don't call back within 5 minutes of our planned time, she's calling 911. She also requested some time off work and wants to come up to assist me in finding places, and just to be there in general. I'm not going to deny I'm struggling in every possible way, and I'm scared, but I know I have a support system to rely on. Cameras. My neighbor is letting me use some until I can purchase better ones. They have video but no audio. At this point, I'm just glad I have something. I hope you recover that money. I really hope so too. He seriously transferred everything except $5 from the checking and the savings, which didn't even have his name on it. Wait, how? Yeah, we had a shared laptop and I didn't think he could access it, but I'm suspecting he got in using passwords or something. I've filed a dispute with the bank and they're investigating it, along with a fraud report at the police station. The bank mentioned that since it's my husband, they might not approve the dispute, which is why I went to file a report at the police station. Relationship with in-laws. Can you initiate the divorce process before the baby is born? Well, I think I have a polite relationship with the in-laws. They are his parents, and he can do no wrong in their eyes. He is their only child, and they share an extremely close bond. His mother apologized on his behalf, but urged me to consider his perspective. They choose to ignore the entire situation. Regarding the divorce, that's all about the attorney aspect. I had a free consultation, and the lawyer and I agreed that with the assets involved and how things are unfolding, it won't be a mediation. Instead, it will be a lengthy and costly legal battle, since he is being spiteful. They have advised filing a police report for any issues, not blocking communication with him to keep evidence of harassment, and suggested that selling the property and dividing the assets might be the best option. I'd like to focus solely on my pregnancy and myself, but for safety reasons, I must keep on top of the legal matters. Update. He broke in late last night. I managed to contact 911 before confronting him, but based on the location, I knew there would be a delay in their arrival. I attempted to walk past him to exit the house, but each time he shoved me, once with enough force to make me stumble and fall backward. The unsettling part is he never yelled. He threw things. One item hit me, leading to an emergency room visit requiring stitches. He said the most vile things. He hated me, I should kill myself, how useless I was, etc. Yet, he never once raised his voice. I'm not saying this is good. I wish he had yelled. It was a fight-or-flight response, and I found out mine is to freeze. I hate that about myself. He was arrested, and his mother already bailed him out. I'm staying at a hotel thanks to a work advance, and I'm looking into apartments. I won't step into the home we shared until my best friend arrives, and even then, it will be with police presence. Nobody can understand what caused him to change almost instantly. The only thing I'm suspecting is a psychotic break, but I'm not a therapist or physician. Apart from some nasty bruises and a few stitches, the baby and I are fine. My lawyer thinks this is enough to obtain a protection order for me and will include the pregnancy baby. The next time I see him will be in court. Sorry if I'm rambling, and this might not make complete sense. For now, I am safe and can sleep well for the first time in weeks. I have the dogs with me. Only one close person and the police know where I am. Update. I've changed my locks. Thinking if he got the law involved, I'd use my pregnancy brain and forgetfulness as an excuse to give him a spare set. Update. Police accompanied me to my home to collect some personal items and basically anything else I could grab. Thanks to the user who suggested I call the non-emergency number, it was extremely smooth. He wasn't home, and I wasn't afraid of him showing up. Both officers were very kind. What I walked into, however, wasn't pleasant. It looked like he went on a binge. Clothes were bleached, food was everywhere, and personal items were destroyed, especially the nursery. I managed to save many of the bigger items and packed up what I could. They're now in storage until I move into my new place. I took photos, and as frustrating as it was, especially with the 1 step forward, 2 steps back thing, I'm hopeful they'll be used against him to prevent custody. As for him, he has no way of contacting me other than through his attorney or email, and it's been silent on both sides. His parents haven't reached out. I don't even know what I'd say if they did, so no loss there. His girlfriend, yes, girlfriend, as I discovered, has been trying to reach me through mutual friends to tell me she's pregnant. I'm not sure if that's true, but it at least confirms the affair and how well he concealed things. I do want to clear the air. I made a post seeking helpful information on resources that could possibly assist me, and someone commented saying I was in it for a long con. That's simply not true. I have not and will not accept any personal items or donations other than advice and maybe an internet hug. Editor's note, OP deleted the post she is referencing. See comment below. While I wish my story were fictional, it is not. Maybe it's a space to vent, or perhaps it's about connecting with others who've been in similar situations, but it helps keep me grounded. Anyway, I'll just say thank you all for listening and checking up on me. I'm safe, I'm good, pregnancy is the only thing really challenging me, and I'll post an update in a few months to let you all know she's here and that we made it. Bye for now. Update. I've read each message and most of the comments. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your advice, and your kindness. More than a few of you have offered baby items, groceries, and gift cards. I cannot in good faith accept any of those, but if you have items lying around, please consider donating them to a charity that supports homeless parents. One thing that stood out is someone asking how I could have felt sorry for him. I guess I'm an empathetic person, to the extent that it might be a flaw. I wish that if he was so unhappy, he would have just told me. We could have tried to to fix it before it turned violent, and if it wasn't fixable, we could have both been great parents. His girlfriend who reached out wrote an email, which was forwarded to me. She's claiming she's pregnant, and for her sake, I hope she's not. She's accusing me of destroying a good man's reputation, called the injuries self-inflicted, and said they want a paternity test. My personal favorite was her saying if my baby is indeed his, she hopes her baby can have a sister to grow up with. Little does she know, I will go to hell and back to ensure that man knows nothing about my daughter. As for him, I saw him once while leaving the grocery store. On the outside, I was calm, cool, and collected, acting like he was just another passerby I wouldn't look twice at. Inside, I kept repeating, "Oh shit," about 500 times and cried in the car. The money situation is sorted out now, thanks to a work bonus and promotion. I've bought a new and better living room set and I'm having a painting party later this month. You're all invited, by the way. I'm still good, still safe, and slowly embracing my new normal. If you're in a similar spot or in an abusive relationship, whether male or female, reach out. You're not alone. You don't need to be courageous. I'm certainly not. You just need that moment of, I can't do this anymore, to spark action. Update. Hi, it's been a while since I posted. Last time I posted, I had swollen ankles, waddled around, thought every little cramp was a contraction, and felt like my life was unraveling. I want to thank everyone who reached out, even months later, just to check in on a stranger. My daughter has arrived. For privacy, I'm going to omit her date of birth, but she was 6 pounds 2 ounces and had the most impressive head of hair I've ever seen. She now rocks the hairstyle of Danny DeVito. My original posts are still up in case anyone is puzzled, but saying things have been rough is an understatement. He appeared at the hospital, but thankfully everyone was informed, and the hospital staff handled it well, allowing me to focus on labor and delivery. Sadly, the stress from that situation added chaos to an already intense moment, but things could have been so much worse, and I am extremely grateful they weren't. Right now, I've dealt with about 10 different CPS calls, and they've shown up at my house on 4 occasions. His family and he have filed for an emergency custody hearing, and because I left the state with my daughter, it gave him some leverage. It seems the protective order isn't really providing help in that regard. I am still on maternity leave, so thankfully my focus has been entirely on my daughter, and gathering all the evidence to ensure he doesn't get any custody other than possibly supervised visits for an hour. My primary worry is if he doesn't get custody, his parents might pursue the grandparent route. I wish I could update by saying I'm excelling at motherhood, but most of the time, I feel like a burnt-out blob. I'm in therapy, and the doctors are monitoring for postpartum depression, although my doctor believes the stress is caused by a massive hemorrhoid, X, instead. There's no update on his girlfriend, but I've kept the dogs, and I think they love the little one just as much as I do. I'm both excited and nervous about where the next chapter of life will take me. New post, baby is here. Well, honestly, she's been here for a while, but is still new to life. She was born with a full head of black hair, weighing 6 pounds 2 ounces, and she was alert from the very start. I made an update on True of My Chest, but I'm making a brief one here just in case it gets removed. CPS has been called numerous times and visited a few times. Everything from claims that I was living in filth to accusations of leaving the baby home alone, and even allegations of meth addiction has been said. All were investigated and proved false. I did leave the state, which allowed him to initiate an emergency custody battle that's coming up soon. The protective order was a joke and hasn't been helpful. He showed up at the hospital while I was in labor, but thankfully the hospital staff handled it perfectly. The cops, not so much. Honestly, I didn't expect them to. I think his parents are the main force behind the custody battle, but I doubt he'll be granted more than a few supervised visits. My primary concern is if that happens, his parents going after grandparent rights. To protect their reputation, it's highly likely they will. Unfortunately, I don't have any news about his girlfriend, but I did keep the dogs, aka the gruesome twosome, and I believe they adore the little one as much as I do. Thank you all for still caring and checking in months afterwards. It means more than I can express. Relevant comments. Commenter. How did he find out you were in labor so he could turn up at the hospital? Is someone feeding him information? Oop. I'm assuming so. Yes, most likely a coworker, or at least that is my best guess. Commenter. Why they have a claim to emergency custody. I think they probably attempted to file for emergency custody, claiming she was kidnapping the baby by relocating to a different state. Oop. That's exactly what happened. They accused me of kidnapping, fleeing the state. From what I understand from my lawyer, that argument won't hold up, but I am required to do a paternity test since he's not listed on her birth certificate. Why he gets this opportunity, I have no clue. It's exhausting, and I suspect it's a control fear tactic to keep his family satisfied. I'm going to use this comment to answer 2 other questions from this post that I can't locate. Someone mentioned an AirTag. I called a garage, explained the situation, and they're going to have me drop it off and inspect it thoroughly. So if the person who mentioned that is reading this, a huge thank you. As for the coworkers, someone leaking information, I've kept quiet ever since. Finally, I can't get them in trouble with false accusations with CPS because they're making anonymous reports. I know it's them, my lawyer knows it's them, heck at this point the caseworker probably knows it's them, but legally it's anonymous, and they'll just deny saying or reporting anything. Pictures of his destruction. Thank you so much. I haven't kept the pictures personally, but my lawyer has them, police documents, the texts, the voicemails. I couldn't keep them in my home because I would look at them repeatedly, trying to figure out what I missed, where it went wrong, what I could have done to stop it. It really made my mental health take a dive. Neither my lawyer nor I believe he stands a chance regarding custody, but neither of us expected him to get as far as he has. At the moment, I'm focusing on the baby, the dogs, and maintaining my physical and mental health. I'm so grateful for Reddit and everyone who checks in, as it's been therapeutic in a way. New post. Honestly, I need some fatherly advice. Life has been hectic, wild, intimidating, exhausting, yet I'm still pushing through and staying positive because I just had a baby and I won't let her down. A kind Redditor directed me here because I'm searching for the safest and also the simplest way to sell things online. Every platform seems to have its downsides. eBay seems like the best option, but I'm uncertain. Craigslist appears simple, quick, and convenient, but scammers and meeting someone online make me question my sanity. Where's the best place to meet? Is using cash the best option? Should I take a friend along? A gaming store seems promising and the safest, but I've also heard they offer the lowest price for anything you bring in. This is all over the place and a mess, but if you catch this and have any kind, much-needed dad advice, I would greatly appreciate it. A dad joke wouldn't hurt either.